Kratos seems completely unstoppable, but he's not. Many characters could easily kill him in a fight, and today I'll be ranking them all, from the hardest fights to the easiest kills. And trust me, the final characters will leave you speechless. Starting with the first character that would be a challenge for Kratos, Invincible. Mark Grayson, better known as Invincible. First, we need to establish what version. Early Mark? Kratos is probably winning the fight in every scenario. The inexperience would be clear in Mark. Kratos has been doing this for millennia, and Mark's still figuring out how to not get his ass kicked every other episode.
Can you believe people used to complain that I could never win a fight?
What people?
My friends.
What was that?
My fans.
Your what?
My fans. My fans.
But we're not talking about early Mark. We're talking about the peak Mark with his full Viltrumite heritage unlocked. And that's a completely different conversation. As we all know, Viltrumites grow stronger with every fight, every near-death experience, every time they get pushed past their limits. It's literally built into their DNA. And there's no doubt that Mark's growth potential eclipses anything Kratos has shown.
Over the last 90 days, Mark's speed has increased 65%, his endurance 70%, and his strength 138%.
Mark's heritage allows him to survive and adapt to threats that would kill Kratos permanently. We're talking about a character who can heal from injuries that would end the God of War's rampage for good. Here's the thing though, the first few hits, those would be tight. Kratos' experience and god-killing weapons would give Mark serious trouble. The Blades of Chaos could definitely hurt a Viltrumite. The Leviathan Axe, that's hitting hard enough to make Mark reconsider his life choices. But over time, Mark adapts. It's not about his first fight, it's about the war. And in a prolonged conflict, Mark's biology gives him the edge. Still, this is a character whose growth edges out a god killer. Now imagine what happens when we bring in someone who's been doing the whole planetary destruction thing for way longer. Omni-Man. This fight cranks everything up several notches. I would say we're looking at roughly 6 to 7 out of 10 odds for Omni-Man. Better than Dante's coin flip, but not a guaranteed victory. And that uncertainty makes this fight fascinating. The speed advantage alone is terrifying. Omni-Man flies faster than light. Not really fast, not looks like a blur, but actually faster than light itself. He crosses solar systems like you cross the street. Okay, well maybe that was an exaggeration, but you get the idea. In a fight, Kratos is fighting someone who can circle the planet, reposition, and attack from a completely different angle before Kratos finishes one swing. The tactical advantage is massive. His planetary feats back this up with hard evidence. Omni-Man has literally torn apart civilizations with his bare hands. He's punched through planets. His Viltrumite physiology lets him tank punishment that obliterates mountains and keep fighting for days without tiring.
You don't seem to understand. Earth isn't yours to conquer.
Kratos is incredibly durable, but we're talking about different scales here. But here's where it gets spicy and why this isn't a 10 out of 10 for Omni-Man. Kratos has something unexpected in his arsenal: magic. Not just magic weapons, but actual hacks abilities like time manipulation and soul-based attacks. The Leviathan Axe isn't just enchanted, it's imbued with powers that can affect beings on a fundamental level. The Blades of Chaos can bind souls, which is a problem even for someone as physically dominant as Omni-Man. The question becomes, can Kratos actually land those hits? Omni-Man's speed makes it incredibly difficult. But if Kratos manages to ground him with time manipulation or land a soul-binding attack, suddenly this fight becomes a lot more even. It's like fighting someone with a one-hit kill move. Sure, you're faster and stronger, but you can't afford to get careless. This wouldn't be effortless for Omni-Man. Every moment he underestimates the ghost of Sparta is a moment he could lose a limb or worse. Kratos has built a career on beating opponents who outclass him on paper, but the speed and power gap here is just too significant to overcome consistently. But in these next fights, the power gaps start widening massively. So what happens when we bring another god with cosmic level feats? Thor, the god of thunder, the guy with a hammer so powerful it can only be lifted by the worthy.
Whosoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor.
On paper, Thor versus Kratos should be evenly matched. Both are gods, both have killed other gods, both wield insane legendary weapons. But when you dig into the actual feats, a different picture emerges. Thor's striking power operates on a galactic scale. Mjolnir isn't just hitting hard, it's channeling forces that can devastate entire planetary surfaces. We're talking about lightning storms that affect dimensional space, not just local weather. When Thor really cuts loose, he's summoning power that has been measured against cosmic tier threats like a fully enraged Hulk and entities that exist beyond normal comprehension. The divine strength factor compounds this. Thor has literally moved planetary bodies. His durability has been tested against universal level attacks and he's walked away. The scaling here starts to matter in a way it didn't in previous fights. Kratos is strong, absolutely, but Thor's feats place him in a different weight class. But here's what keeps this from being a total blowout. Kratos isn't just any god. He's specifically a god killer.
Kratos realized his true enemy was the god who once saved his life, the same god who had now taken everything from him.
Ares!
His entire existence is defined by slaying beings exactly like Thor. The Blade of Olympus killed Zeus, king of the Greek pantheon. The Leviathan axe was literally forged to counter Mjolnir. Everything about Kratos' combat style and weaponry has been honed through killing divine beings. But what really tips the scales is Thor's lightning output. Kratos has resistance to lightning. He's been hit by Zeus's bolts and survived. But Thor's storms operate on a fundamentally different level. The sheer output of power he can channel through Mjolnir exceeds what Kratos has demonstrated resistance to. It's not about surviving a lightning bolt, it's about surviving a sustained assault from a literal weaponized star. I think this ends up being a hard-fought victory where both combatants get pushed to their absolute limits. In the end, Thor's cosmic level feats give him the edge, but Kratos makes sure Thor remembers this fight for the rest of his immortal life. Now, we're moving into territory where fights require even more effort, but outcomes become clearer. Next is someone who literally won't stop until every demon in existence is permanently dead. The Doomslayer. He's the guy hell itself fears. When you put him against Kratos, you get a fight rated at higher difficulty, meaning Kratos provides significant resistance, but the outcome still favors the Slayer. The reason comes down to specialization. The Doomslayer's entire existence is purpose-built around killing divine and demonic entities, not defeating them or banishing them, but permanently ending their existence. His arsenal isn't just powerful, it's specifically designed for anti-divine warfare. The biggest part that we can't ignore here, though, is the weaponry. The BFG fires concentrated argent energy that can vaporize demons on a molecular level. The Crucible is an energy blade that cuts through anything, and I mean anything. Demonic armor that tanks nuclear explosions? The Crucible passes through it like it's not even there. For someone like Kratos who relies on his durability, that's a serious problem. Then you have the Praetor suit. This isn't just armor, it's a complete combat system that enhances every physical attribute while providing near total invulnerability to conventional damage. The Slayer has tanked direct hits from the Icon of Sin, a being whose mere existence warps reality. When Kratos swings the Blades of Chaos, he's hitting someone who survived reality warping attacks without flinching. But Kratos makes this a difficult fight. His regeneration and absolute refusal to die turn him into a nightmare opponent even for someone as specialized as the Slayer. Kratos doesn't just fight, he adapts. He learns patterns, exploits weaknesses, and his rage actually makes him fight better as the battle goes on. Slayer prevails through superior gear and infinite endurance. It's not that Kratos isn't strong enough or skilled enough, it's that he's fighting someone literally built to counter exactly what Kratos is. That's a bad matchup no matter how skilled or determined you are. But this fight is nowhere near as insane as the matchup against the Hulk. The Incredible Hulk. Bruce Banner's anger issues given physical form and infinite strength potential.
Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret, Cat. I'm always angry.
When he faces Kratos, the formula is simple but devastating. This is rated moderate difficulty overall, but there's a key difference from previous fights. Hulk doesn't just match Kratos' rage, he exceeds it by fundamental design. His entire power set is built around escalating strength with no upper limit. The core mechanic is beautifully simple. The angrier the Hulk gets, the stronger he becomes. There's no cap, no limit, no maximum threshold. And that's not hyperbole, that's literally how the character functions. In the comics, we've seen Hulk get angry enough to crack planets with his footsteps, punch through dimensional barriers, and even survive attacks that would literally disintegrate normal matter at the molecular level. What does this mean for Kratos? Every hit gets progressively harder. The first punch might not do much. Kratos has tanked hits from gods before. But the 10th punch is cracking mountains. The 100th punch is shaking continents, and the 1000th punch is threatening Earth's stability. If they even make it that far. And Hulk would keep punching no matter what. Kratos' durability is legendary, but his regeneration just can't keep up with exponentially increasing damage output. But here's why this is still moderate difficulty. Kratos has tools that can legitimately hurt Hulk. The Blades of Chaos have magical properties that affect beings on a fundamental level. The Leviathan axe can freeze enemies solid, potentially slowing Hulk's regeneration, and Kratos' combat experience vastly exceeds Banner's tactical thinking when fully hulked out.
No Banner, only Hulk. Hulk, always Hulk. God go. Hulkster.
In the early stages of the fight, Kratos could absolutely dominate. He'd use his weapons to maximize effectiveness, exploiting his superior technique and experience. He might even seem like he's winning, and this is the only time that could happen, landing devastating combos that would put down almost any opponent. He could seemingly put Hulk down, but if he doesn't end it fully, Hulk gets back up, and that's when it's over for Kratos. Every time Kratos knocks him down, but doesn't finish him off, Hulk comes back angrier and much stronger. Moderate difficulty fading into inevitability. be. And if infinite strength escalation is a problem, imagine what happens when we add flight, heat vision, and solar system durability into the mix. Superman, the Man of Steel, the character who literally defines the superhero genre and might be one of the most overpowered beings in fiction. When Superman faces Kratos, the research is brutally clear. This isn't a fight, it's a demonstration. This matchup is rated low effort for Superman. That's a significant jump from everything we've discussed so far. We've gone from coin flip battles to fights requiring real effort. Now we're at fights where the outcome is never in doubt from the moment they begin. Let's talk raw numbers. Superman's strongest lift has varied through all the adaptations, but All-Star Superman lifted 200 quintillion tons. That's not a typo. Quintillion. To put that into perspective, that's overwhelmingly stronger than anything Kratos, or probably any other character in fiction, has demonstrated. The Temple of Tyr that Kratos struggles with in God of War, All-Star Superman benches that weight as a warm-up routine.
Put one foot in front of the other, and I try to make the best choices I can. I screw up all the time, but that is being human, and that's my greatest strength.
The difference isn't marginal, it's categorical. The solar system durability compounds the problem. Superman can fly at speeds exceeding light. He traverses solar systems in moments. He can fight in the vacuum of space indefinitely without air, food, water, or rest. Kratos is incredibly tough, but he's gravity bound and needs to breathe. That's a fundamental mismatch that tactics can't overcome. Then we have the heat vision. Superman can fire concentrated beams of solar energy from orbit. He can circle the planet faster than Kratos can perceive movement and hit him with the equivalent of miniature suns from multiple angles simultaneously. Kratos has faced fire before. He survived the flames of Hades, but not sustained assault from weaponized solar energy fired from a target moving faster than light. But let's address the argument some people make. Can't Kratos win through hope power or by scaling his feats to universal levels? While Kratos has impressive feats within his own mythology, they don't scale to Superman's demonstrated capabilities. Superman has fought universal level threats like Darkseid. He's moved actual planets and even survived attacks that warp reality at fundamental levels. Okay, but Kratos' god-killing weapons helped him in other fights. What about this one? The Blades of Chaos and Leviathan Axe have killed divine beings, true, but they are required hitting the target. How do you hit someone moving faster than light who can perceive threats in nanoseconds?
We will meet again, Kryptonian.
You didn't think you could just walk away, did you?
Even if, hypothetically, Kratos landed a hit through impossible luck, Superman's durability has tanked planetary explosions without serious injury. Magical weapons hurt more than conventional ones, absolutely, but the gap in physical statistics is too vast to overcome. With minimal effort, I think it's safe to say Superman crushes Kratos nearly every time. Undoubtedly if he's in his peak form. And if you think Superman is overpowered, just wait. We're about to enter territory where the word overpowered doesn't even begin to cover it. Darkseid, the god of evil. When Darkseid faces Kratos, we're not talking about a fight anymore. We're talking about an execution.
Will stride across their bones, and all of existence shall be mine.
This matchup is low difficulty, as in there might be a tiny bit of effort required. Let's talk about what makes Darkseid such an insurmountable threat. The Omega Beams are the most obvious problem. These aren't normal energy attacks. They're insanely powerful beams that disintegrate souls, not just bodies. That's a critical distinction. Kratos' whole strategy revolves around being too angry to die, too determined to stay down. The Omega Beams don't care about determination, and they're unavoidable. They can turn corners mid-flight. They can split and attack from multiple angles simultaneously. They can track targets across dimensional barriers. Once Darkseid locks on, it's game over for you. Only the fastest speedsters in the entire DC universe can consistently dodge them, and even that's difficult. Kratos, for all his combat prowess and god-killing experience, doesn't have the speed feats to avoid them. What do the Omega Beams actually do? They disintegrate matter at a molecular level. Darkseid has options beyond simple destruction, and literally all of them end badly for Kratos. Let's talk about the true form versus avatar situation, because this is where things get genuinely incomprehensible. Most fights with Darkseid aren't even against his true form. They're against avatars, projections of his power into lower dimensions. Why? Because Darkseid's true form is so massive and powerful that his mere presence causes reality to crack and fracture. When he fell during the Final Crisis storyline, his body falling through dimensions nearly destroyed the entire multiverse. Just from falling. His true form existing in Kratos' reality would cause that reality to break down before the fight even started. The multiverse level scaling puts Darkseid so far beyond Kratos that making comparisons become meaningless. It's like comparing a human to a galaxy. The scope is incomprehensible. Kratos has fought gods, yes, powerful gods from Greek and Norse pantheons, but Darkseid is beyond gods. He's fought new gods who treat regular gods as beneath notice. He's a conceptual entity as much as a physical being. But let's say, hypothetically, through impossible circumstances, circumstances, Kratos somehow avoided the Omega Beams, somehow resisted the matter manipulation through divine constitution,
Impressive. No one has ever avoided my Omega Beam.
somehow got close enough to actually attack Darkseid physically with the Blades of Chaos. The durability gap still makes it pointless.
Excellent strategy.
And somehow, we're still not at the top of this list. Because if multiversal reality warping seems unbeatable, wait until you see what universal scale destruction looks like when it moves faster than time itself. Goku, the guy who has died more times than Kratos but keeps coming back stronger each time. The man whose power level is literally incalculable at this point.
This mortal really is something else. There can be no doubt this is the true power, complete in all its majesty.
When Goku fights Kratos, the research is unanimous. This isn't close. This isn't even competitive. This matchup barely qualifies as a fight. These are demonstrations, not battles. But let's break down exactly why this is such a thorough mismatch. The universal feats are the foundation. Goku in his Super Saiyan God form was shaking the universe during his fight with Beerus. Not the planet, not the solar system, the universe. The shockwaves from their punches, just the shockwaves, were threatening to destroy the entire universe. That's not destroying planets as a primary effect. That's universal scale destruction as an unintended side effect of fighting. Let me emphasize that properly. The side effect, the collateral damage of Goku fighting, was nearly destroying the universe. Kratos' strongest feats involve killing gods and affecting regional areas, maybe continental at maximum interpretation. The scale difference is so absurd, it breaks normal comparison. It's like comparing a firecracker to a nuclear weapon, except the gap is actually wider than that. Then we have instant transmission.
It's not an easy trick to do. The instant transmission. I need to imagine a person. 3, 2, 1.
Goku can teleport anywhere he can sense energy instantaneously. Not moves really fast teleports. Kratos is grounded, relatively speaking. He can move incredibly fast for a god, faster than normal perception, but he's not teleporting across dimensions. He's not appearing behind you before you finish your attack. The mobility gap makes it impossible for Kratos to even force engagement on his terms. By the time Goku hits Ultra Instinct, we're talking about a fighter who moves and reacts without thinking, dodging attacks before they happen. His body reacts automatically, faster than conscious thought. Kratos relies on combat experience, pattern recognition, and predictive fighting. You can't outfight someone whose body counters your attacks before you finish the motion of making them. It's not about being faster, it's about operating on a different level of reality. But let's talk about what really makes this a stomp. Energy projection. Kratos is primarily a melee fighter. His ranged options exist, certainly. He can throw the Leviathan Axe, use various magical abilities, but his core strategy revolves around getting close and overwhelming opponents with superior technique and raw power. Goku can fire Kamehamehas that dwarf planets. He can create energy attacks from any direction simultaneously. The tactical mismatch is total. Kratos needs to close the distance. Goku can prevent that effortlessly while attacking from range with more power than Kratos can survive. So it's safe to say this is very low difficulty. And yet, somehow, Goku is not even the strongest person on the list. Saitama, One Punch Man.
Guess I'll go.
The hero who's so overpowered the entire point of his character is being overpowered. Saitama faces Kratos. We reached the end of our list not because there's a close fight, but because it's not a fight at all. The core concept of Saitama's character, because this is crucial to understanding why this matchup isn't even close. He's a parody of overpowered anime protagonists taken to its logical extreme. The whole point of One Punch Man as a series is that Saitama wins, no matter what. Every enemy, every challenge, every threat gets resolved with one punch. That's not hyperbole for effect. That's his character design at a fundamental level. But here's what makes Saitama truly impossible to beat. Infinite potential through breaking his limiter. Saitama's serious punch could obliterate Kratos before he reacts. Not might obliterate, could. And here's the thing. The serious punch isn't even his full power. That's just him putting in slightly more effort than usual, about as much effort as you'd put into opening a particularly stubborn jar. We still haven't seen Saitama actually try. Not once. There hasn't been a single fight where he was challenged, where he had to push himself, where he felt genuine threat. The series has shown increasingly powerful opponents. Reality warpers, speed demons, tactical geniuses. Saitama beats all of them with casual ease while thinking about grocery sales. But what if somehow Kratos actually hits Saitama with everything he has? The Blades of Chaos, fully powered and burning with the rage of a god killer.
There is one unavoidable truth you will never escape. You will always be a monster.
The Leviathan acts at maximum frost, channeling the coldest winter that ever existed. Spartan Rage activated to its highest level. Every god-killing technique perfected over millennia of slaying divine beings. Every combo, every special move, every ultimate attack. Based on what we've seen from Saitama, he'd probably just stand there and take it with a mildly interested expression. Maybe he'd comment on the nice light show. Saitama has tanked attacks that destroy cities without even trying to defend. He's been hit by beings strong enough to wipe out human civilization, and his response was, okay. He survived in space without protection. He's been punched through multiple buildings, mountains, and probably small moons by this point. The speed factor makes this even more absurd.
You're a fast one. Who are you?
Just a guy who's a hero for fun.
Saitama moves so fast he creates after images. He can close distances before opponents realize he's moved. His reactions are effectively instantaneous. When he fought Genos in a sparring match, he dodged every attack while barely paying attention to the fight, mostly thinking about what to make for dinner. Kratos is fast for a god, genuinely superhuman in speed, but Saitama operates on a level where normal concepts of speed become irrelevant. Even if, hypothetically, through impossible circumstances, Kratos somehow started winning, Saitama would instantly grow strong enough to reverse that situation. His growth rate is infinite, his potential is infinite, his ceiling doesn't exist. It's not that he's at maximum power, it's that maximum power is a concept that doesn't apply to him. If you enjoyed this video and want to see every leaked I spoiled Superman, click now.